The Spartans dressed in their home white, trimmed in navy blue and silver. Todd McGinnis, their head basketball coach. Todd is in his 4th year here at Case, 11th year overall as a college basketball coach. So the Maroons come into tonight's matchup, or this afternoon's matchup. Mike McGrath and his team off a loss on Friday night in Pittsburgh to Carnegie Mellon. 71-62 was the final in that game. They are 0-2 in conference play. They almost knocked off the Washington University. They lost in that game 66-65 in their conference opener. So they're 0-2, but very dangerous. The 0-2 is a misleading record as we start University Athletic Association play. It's kind of interesting. They played WashU so tough. That game was in St. Louis. They actually led that game at halftime. They led big at halftime, actually. They led by 11, 36-25. So they take a team like WashU, who's ranked either 12th or 14th in the country, depending on what ranking you're looking at, and they almost beat them at home, and then they go on the road and they lose to Carnegie Mellon. It's a putback by Bryce Hopkins. Hopkins with the first basket of the afternoon.
Right now, what you'll see, UChicago generally puts out the same starting lineup. 4 of their 5 starters started all 13 games up until today. This is one of the bigger changes to the starting lineup we've seen. Hopkins' first game starting for the team.
Going to call Frilling for the travel.
And outside of Hopkins, for UChicago, you want to look at number 14, Brandon Beckman. Those are the 2 guys that are starting their first games for this squad this season.
Oftentimes in the University Athletic Association, it's often about matchups, and that changes from team to team. What's a good matchup against one opponent is not necessarily the same against another. You will see lineups change from time to time. I know Todd McGinnis does it quite often.
Yeah, you're right. He does it more than almost any other coach. It's interesting because even though this team doesn't usually do it, they're definitely trying to change things up. Maybe they're trying to put some more athletic guys in there because that could be a weak point for the Spartan team.
Ionati grabbed that rebound. Here's Volkening quickly. Hollis kicks it. Cole Frilling with a strong drive. The freshman with his first bucket of the afternoon.
Great way he drove to the hoop there, got inside, created a shot for himself.
The putback off a nice feed. That's Jordan Baum. Antonio Ionati running the baseline, coming off a screen, got a nice feed from Volkening, and Ionati hits his first shot. He did not score in that Washington University game until the second half, and it was late in the second half. And here's a young man, a junior, who they count on to score. He's averaging 12 points per game. Ionati with the block.
To build off your last point with Ionati, he really is a guy who's one of the more inconsistent players in the team. He can easily put up 20 points. He's done that 3 times this year, but he can also put up only 4 or 5 in a game. So it really varies from game to game, but his scoring potential is sky high.
This is Antonio again off a screen. Going to get another one, go opposite of it from Frilling. Shot clock's at 5. Feed inside to Cole Frilling. Did not get the bounce. Baum, he's the guy that makes everything happen for the University of Chicago. Not only scoring-wise, but dishing it. He's got 6 assists per game. There's Ionati again.
And for comparison, as you said, he has 77 assists on the year. The next closest guy on UChicago's team has 38. A wild difference.
Open look outside. And that's Brennan McDaniel at 6'6", hitting that 3.
He has a 46% field goal percentage from beyond three-point land, by far the best on the team.
Ionati again. It's been the Antonio Ionati show. That one didn't drop, but he had the good look. Beckman blocked by Volkening. Fouls on Michael Volkening. That will be his first.
As you can see on the replay, got some contact on his back and left arm.
Ryan Martin checking in for the Maroons. Martin 6'3" sophomore guard out of Palatine, Illinois. Beckman makes them both.
Beckman now 11 for 14 from the free throw line on the year. Great defensive switch there by UChicago to prevent CWRU from getting the easy bucket.
Just Frilling on that block. Cole will use his body and the rim to block his defender and hit the reverse layup.
He always has excellent body control and excellent ball handling inside. Shows it, puts it right on display for us there once again.
Hollis with a rebound. Michael Hollis almost averaging a double-double again this year. He did it as a junior. Volkening with a hop, skip. Shot didn't go. Chicago with a rebound. Hopkins gets it out to Beckman.
Good D there by Hollis.
Long three from Baum. Jordan Baum, he can hit him. He's got 26 threes. He leads the team in three-point shooting.
And Baum, the third leading scorer overall for UChicago at 11.9 points per game.
Sam Hansen from about 22 feet.
Mr. 3 and D.
This is Beckman again. Michael Hollis will come out and guard Brennan McDaniel. Take away that three-point opportunity. Now it's a mismatch. McDaniel against Volkening, and he takes advantage of it. Brennan McDaniel at 6'6". On the switch, got Michael Volkening guarding, giving up 5 inches.
He's having a great game so far. McDaniel already with 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Putting together a complete stat line in just a few minutes into this one.
Nice. Backdoor cut. Michael Hollis. Ionati was waiting for him.
Great court vision there by Ionati as well. That was Ionati's 14th assist on the year. Not usually the guy who you can count on for those sorts of passes, but great play.
McDaniels again. He's going to get it back. He'll see Michael Volkening guarding him one more time.
He wasn't ready for the pass, but he felt confident with the hook shot. He has 7 on the day. That gives UChicago a 4-point lead.
13:29 left, opening half. We'll be back.
Inspired by the 60s, Dave's Cosmic Subs is spreading love around the world one sub at a time. Voted the best in Cleveland, Dave's Cosmic Subs uses only the freshest ingredients, all wrapped in the history of rock and roll. Dave's Cosmic Subs are perfect for any occasion, especially your next Spartan Athletics gathering. Visit Dave's Cosmic Subs Coventry or call 216-320-0330 for delivery. There's only one legendary sub, and that's Dave's.
Some fans making the trip from Chicago, maybe, maybe not. There's a young man on the team from the Dayton area, Kettering-Alter High School, Dominic Larrabee. So that could be some of his relatives making the trip up from the south. It's Frilling, he's got 6. Cole Frilling, 10 days ago, made his first start as a freshman and scored 27 points against Carnegie Mellon. That's Beckman. Beckman has 5.
Spartans going with a very big lineup here. 4 forwards in.
Push in the back, caught by the officials. Dominic Larrabee, just mentioned Dominic. 6'5", 210 junior forward out of Dayton. Played his high school ball at Kettering-Alter. Ignas Masiulionis now in the game, along with Bob Fowler and Ryan Newton. This is Fowler. You'll notice on Ignis's right ankle, he's got an extra brace. He tweaked that ankle before the Carnegie Mellon game, and we've been watching it. Did not play. He did not play in the game against, well, actually, he did not play in the Carnegie Mellon game. He tweaked it before that game in practice, and he played limited against Washington University, and we want to make sure he's healthy as the season goes on. So the other player on this Spartan basketball team that's not even in uniform tonight is Monty Kella.
Kella been able to play the first 7 games of the year, but has not been able to play the next about 7 games since due to injury.
In the second game of the Sudik tournament, he was really bothered by his Achilles tendon. They worked it, they tried to rehab it, and they put him on the shelf for a while. Then he played against Alvernia when they were down in Florida, but an MRI showed a partial tear, so they are just keeping him out.
And in his senior year, obviously, it's unfortunate. You got to feel bad for him and the team, but health first, obviously.
Well, I wonder, with 7 games, as Ryan Newton shoots a shot, Frilling. That was a beautiful job. I think that ball was on the baseline.
I agree. Heads up play by Frilling.
Hollis with the steal. Michael has a lot of those. Back to Kella for a second. With only 7 games played, I'm certainly not an expert on the NCAA rules, but I wonder if he would get a medical red shirt if he chose to. And depending on his academic status, if he's got another year academically or if he's getting into a postgraduate program, he might have another year of eligibility athletic-wise because of a medical red shirt.
Interesting.
Turnaround shot by Zach Munson. Largest lead of the early afternoon now for the Maroons at 7. Fowler's shot won't go. You know, the Spartans struggled early in that game against WashU and found themselves in a 20-plus deficit because they were shooting only about 20% from the field, and the Bears were off to 60-something%, and unfortunately this game's starting out the same way. Timeout on the floor. Chicago scores again. They're now up 9 with 10:37 left in the opening half. We'll be back.
Have you heard the news? The Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Seniors being recognized all season long here inside Horsburgh Gymnasium. There's the banner hanging of Michael Hollis. Hollis from St. Ignatius High School. The gym that he played in high school, not far from this one, just the other side of town. Monty Kella, who we just talked about. It's Monty's senior year officially, but talk to Coach McGinnis a little bit more about if Monty has eligibility left with a medical red shirt. And then Sam Hansen. Alex calls him D and 3. He can shoot the 3 and he can play D.
Exactly.
There are 3 seniors on the women's team as well. Their banners hang here along with our senior wrestlers at Case Western Reserve University. So there is a discussion on the floor right now, and they are checking. They've asked the officials to check something on the monitor. And so while they do that, Alex, let's talk about the women's matchup that we have coming up here at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
So
the women, of course, are coming off an outstanding win on Friday night against Washington University, a program who has historically just dominated Division III. If UConn and Tennessee are the signature programs in Division I in women's college basketball, it's been Washington University over the years in Division III with the work that Nancy Fay has done there forever. Nancy's now in the Big Ten at the University of Illinois, but that Friday night win for Jen Reimer and her Spartans was so exciting to watch. To see the freshman guard score the last 6 points, including the layup that tied the game and the free throw that eventually won it with 5 seconds left. They come into that 2 o'clock game today on an all-time high, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I know we both said this was probably our most exciting games that we've announced. It was an incredible end, and with that win, Case Western Reserve women are now third in the UAA too with a 2-0 record.
So out of that discussion on a review of a play to see if there was I'm not exactly sure, flagrant foul. Todd McGinnis was asking for a review on a flagrant foul. Did not turn into anything. It cost Case Western Reserve a timeout. And this is a foul on the Maroons. Foul's going to go against Mattia Colangelo. There's Mattia's first. Hollis with a hesitation. Michael Hollis off the glass.
Excellent play there. Hollis this year has struggled a bit more with the shooting percentages and scoring than in his junior season, but still always a great threat inside and also the leading rebounder for the team.
Chicago passes over the zone, and fighting for the loose ball was Ignas Masiulionis along with Cole Schmitz. Foul will go against Ignas. And for Masiulionis, that will be his first.
Definitely saw a bit of a push off there.
Beckman's back in the game for Chicago. Also joining him is McDaniel.
After how McDaniel started this game, got to keep all eyes on him defensively.
This is Jordan Baum with Volkening on him. Jordan calling for the high screen. He gets it. And there's that switch. Volkening's now on McDaniels inside.
Big mismatch there.
McDaniels is calling for the basketball. Baum's going to fire it as the shot clock was about to hit 0. He just launched that like, I don't know, backyard with his friends, and it went in.
Half release that somehow, as you said, fell.
Spartans down 10. Ignas with a strong move on the baseline, just missed the shot. He had it all set up. That move along the baseline was beautiful. This is Beckman drawing that defense. Hollis playing great defense.
Such a smart play there to give CWRU the ball back.
Ignas will launch. Rattled, would not go. What's the shooting percentage right now, Alex, on the live stats that sit on your laptop in front of you?
Fortunately, they're not currently working, the live stats, but so I'll get you those numbers when I can. But
must be the cold.
I know, right? It's even affecting our technology.
Yeah, we got them right here. We got them right next door. So Case is 7 of 19 right now.
All right. And obviously, it does seem like a lot of their jumpers aren't falling, which was one of their problems against WashU as well.
Baum's got 10. It's a 12-point Maroon lead. Ionati, he's already hit a couple. That one won't go, and the outstretched arms of Cole Schmitz brings that one down. Chicago quickly down the floor. Soft jump hook from Larrabee. Larrabee's got 4, leads at 14. Oftentimes on this noon game on Sunday for the road team, it's very important for the road team to get off to a good start in the noon game on Sunday because, you know, they're coming in a little lethargic from playing on Friday night, traveling, late Friday night into early Saturday morning, getting into their hotel. Oftentimes they spend the day on Sunday either, hanging out in the city that they're in or going through walkthroughs so that Sunday morning start, or Saturday I should say, that Sunday morning start then is important for that road team to get off to a good one, to be in the game, to kind of wake up a little bit. And boy, Chicago's certainly done that in this one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think many of us expected a 14-point deficit only 13 minutes into the game for the Spartans.
Baum with a step back, did not go. That's the stop. Now the Spartans need a bucket. One at a time. Just like Friday night. Got to take possessions one at a time. You're in a big hole early. Newton. Offensive rebounds are a struggle right now for Case Western Reserve. They're getting one look and one look only. This is Hansen fighting for it. Sam's going to lead the break. He's got Newton and Ionati to his left. Antonio will get it. And I tell you what, he had Beckman off his feet. If Antonio keeps going up, he's shooting 3 free throws. Fouls on Beckman. That is Brandon Beckman's first foul to go along with his 5 points. Ionati, number 13 for Case Western Reserve, has opened this game with 2 3-point shots. Beautiful feed from Antonio to Ryan Newton.
That's his second of the game. Look at his passing skills today.
Well, he's recognized that when he hit those 2 early threes that defense is really crunching on him. And Antonio's smart enough and certainly a great teammate, and he recognizes when that defense crushes on him, he's got teammates that are wide open, and he's passing off. And Ryan Newton was the recipient of it. That's Hopkins with a jump shot. Bryce has got 4 points. Frilling inside from Fowler, and Cole's going to shoot free throws.
That was a great, simple pick and roll, but effective, sending Frilling to the line, who is a 87% free throw shooter this year, best on the team.
Fouls on Jordan Baum. That is Jordan's first. Frilling was 4-4 on Friday night from the foul line against WashU. 2 of 2 so far this afternoon. Cole Frilling. Traveled with a basketball. Traveling on Chicago, that will go against Hopkins. Well, Bryce Hopkins did a nice job of cutting to the basket as McDaniels drew the defense along the baseline.
Hopkins not very turnover prone. This is only his 12th of the year. Great ball movement here, but UChicago not relenting. Still not letting anyone get inside.
That's Fowler. Shot would not go. McDaniels up and over Robert to grab that rebound.
McDaniels a real bruiser. CWRU having trouble really who to put on him when he's on offense or defense.
3 in the air, and it's a good one from Brandon Beckman. Beckman is 8, including 2 threes. Spartans trying to win their second game out of the opening 3 in University Athletic Association play. A year ago, they won only 2 games all year long. One of their 2 wins was against the University of Chicago. Spartans finished 2-12 in UAA play, and they beat Chicago in Chicago.
No points created there, but that was also a great pass by Cole Schmitz, bounce pass inside. Schmitz is the leading scorer for UChicago. Got to look out for offensively, even though he's been a bit quiet today. He's averaging 15 on the year per game.
So Fowler's going to bring it out. Look left, and Ryan Newton is there. The cutter is Frilling. That's Cole with the soft turnaround. Cole Frilling, he has been a bright spot. He's got 10 of their 22.
Soft turnaround, soft touch there. He's really leading this team today. Still down 13, though. 35-22 the score right now with 3:58 left.
McDaniel inside.
This is the third time today we've seen that same hook shot. It
got
just can't
9.
be stopped.
Well, one way to stop, you know, if you're working against mismatches inside, if you can't handle the inside players of your opponent, one way to stop that is to have ball pressure outside. Put pressure on the perimeter, pressure on the guards who are handling the ball. Make it hard for them to get it inside. And that is one way to counter that. The other way, they can double down on those big guys. Spartans had trouble on Friday night against some of the bigs for Washington University. Ionati trying to split a double team, ran into McDaniel, ball's loose. Antonio's on the floor, McDaniel's on the floor. Ball is whistled as a tie-up. They're going to call it a tie-up, and the possession arrow will stay with Case Western Reserve.
Seeing some physicality today. We're seeing each team, even though it's early, even though it's not super close right now, we're still seeing a good amount of physicality and effort from each of these teams here. You'll see number 4, Connor Peterson, step in, and number 10, Jack Vasilani, enter the game for the Spartans now.
Lob inside to Frilling.
Oh my gosh.
All he could do was catch and shoot it because of the shot clock.
And yet somehow it went in. That was beautiful.
Did it perfectly.
Yeah, you're right. Great defense there by Frilling as well.
Gould grabs the rebound.
Can we say his name more than we already have today? Trying to slow down on the offense a bit on that play there. You got to wonder if maybe the Spartans think they were trying to play a little too fast-paced early on, slow it down, see if they can create more opportunities for themselves.
Well, one of the things that Coach McGinnis has talked about with the team this year, last year they tried to score as much as possible, score 90 points a game, shoot as many threes as possible. This year they kind of started that way, and they had 3 losses in a row at one point early, and they sat down and they talked as a team as Vasilani misses. And they thought, you know what, if we can play better defense, we don't have to score 90 to win. If we play better defense, we can score high 70s, low 80s and win. So there's been a recommitment to that. And, you've seen it in the way that they started UAA play. You've seen it tonight or this afternoon so far. Chicago's doing a nice job percentage-wise. They're making their shots. They're working for them. Spartans are going to keep it. So that's been a systematic change with this men's basketball team from last year and even from the beginning of this year. They've taken on this mantra it goes like this: control what you can control. Coming out of that players meeting after that 3-game loss early in the season, they decided, listen, we're not going to worry about anything other than what we can control as players on the floor. And so when they think about how they're playing and what they're trying to do, they just think about this: control what we can control. That's playing defense, it's getting good shots, it's not turning the ball over. If you can not turn the ball over and play good defense, your chances of winning are going to be pretty good time in and time out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. One other thing I want to note, too, is not only have the Spartans seemed recommitted to defense, but they've also seemed, especially over the last few games, more recommitted to the inside game offensively. They're driving to the hoop a lot more. There were many games last year where you were looking and saying half their shots were threes at least, and this year you're seeing them try to drive a lot, get those easy 2-pointers, which seem to work so far.
Frilling is 14. That layup gave him 14. He has been a matchup issue for the Maroons. Whistle before the shot. Blocking foul on Frilling. That is Cole's first. Beckman back in, McDaniel back in. Also back in for Chicago, Ryan Martin. That's Martin on the drive, and that's a charge. That's an offensive control foul on Ryan Martin.
Let's see the replay there. Feet look to be set by Wells. Spartan basketball. Great play there by Solomon Wells to force the turnover and the charge.
Spartans were down 15 at 35-20 5 minutes ago, less than 5 minutes ago. Got an opportunity here with a basket to cut the lead to 9. Peterson. Now this is Frilling. Fade away, baseline. Did not drop. Looked like it was going to go.
It did. Great defense there on that possession by UChicago.
Solomon Wells with it. Right side, here's Cole in front of his opponent. Dropped it.
Give him 17. He brings the Spartans to be only down by 8 points now. It's back to a single-digit game.
Well, they need to stop.
They do. This is going to be the last shot, most likely.
Steele. Almost kept it. Trying to save it out of bounds was Connor Peterson. So the Maroons will have it. They'll have 8.5 seconds. Robert Fowler off the bench. He'll check in for Cole Frilling.
Give him some rest. He's played every minute this game, Frilling.
Spartans with some fouls to give, so they will give them. It's only their 5th team foul. It took a second off the clock. Hollis with a steal. He's got 6 seconds, plenty of time to make that layup. Baum quickly up the floor. Here comes Chicago from half court at the buzzer, just short.
Great end of the half.
Michael Hollis with a steal. I felt like Johnny Most when Havlicek stole the ball. Havlicek stole the ball. Give your headsets to Coach McGinnis. Todd McGinnis joining us at halftime as he always does. Todd, you guys were down 15.
Except the other night, I didn't want to say something I regret, so I just went to the locker room.
Well, tonight kind of started out like the other night. You were down 15 with 5 minutes to go in this half, and you made a great run to close within 6.
Yeah, it was good. Cole's playing outstanding right now, and he's doing a good job. And we need a little bit of guard play right now. You know what I mean? They're really taking away pressure in our threes. But I think we have some guys open. We're just missing the passes where we need to get it. So we just need to focus a little bit maybe on the second half of finding those guys that are open. And then some guys willing to shoot it, you know what I mean, take the good shots. They got out on us because we were taking some contested jumpers that we shouldn't have taken. And all of a sudden, they're good. They got good players.
Yeah. They were getting some mismatches, too, inside offensively. They would switch on a screen, and you'd have Volkening. Volkening would suddenly be guarding McDaniels, and
that's why we had to switch up our lineup.
Communication problem there?
No, we were trying to switch, but honestly, we worked on it yesterday. That if you get switched, you got to be tough in front, not let them catch it. And so, honestly, I looked down the bench and figured out, okay, who's going to be the tougher guy and be able to guard him and stay in front of him, and that's when we want to overrun here. So, I think it's a little bit about just finding the guys that are willing to switch and be tough and physical with them, and that's what we found there at the end, so we might have to stick with it here.
Todd, good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Ron.